little nervous here. I don't know what to say, and yeah, I'm not racist. Just want to say that out loud real quick. All right? My body might be racist, but I'm not racist. I mean, my ass won't follow the stereotype, for black people. It looks like Jack Black's ass in Nacho Libre. You know what I mean? Like, you know how he goes like, whoosh, yeah, it looks good. I don't like this at all. I like to have a script, Like, I did plays. I love doing plays, but I don't like not having a script. Like, in a script, I got one line. My one line is, it was the will of the people. That was like a Mexican Revolution play that I did. And it was just, the will of the people is all I had to remember until the director came up and said, hey, we're gonna need you to improvise. I'm like, dude, I studied my lines. I studied my lines like every day. I didn't know what else to do. He's like, look, you're good. Just do this for me, all right? I'll see what I can do. He's like, all right, jump out there. Let's see what we're gonna do. Well, the other guy comes up. He's like, all right, we need to sign these documents. What do you think about this? I'm like, it was the will of the people. Well, yes, we understand it is the will of the people, but what are your thoughts about this document? It was the will of the people. Okay, all right. Okay, but these documents, the Presidente, he needs to know, what are your thoughts? It was the will of the people, I don't know. Good, sir, good. That's all I got for that. My line is easier that way, If you give me lines, I can do it. My kids, they learned the lines of the president, the soldiers, everybody. They absorbed everything. They're geniuses. They didn't get it from me, but they're geniuses, you know what I mean? Because their mom was a bitch, you know what I mean? She learned everything. For my third kid, she raped me, okay? I mean, she raped me because I had my tonsils out and Tylenol 5 is a hell of a drug, okay? The doctor told me that blood flow from your head always goes down to your other head. So stay in bed and you'll be fine. Well, I stayed in bed, and 9 months later, I got my daughter Jayla. And I try to teach my daughter, let's be nice and polite at all times. Every time I want you to be polite. She's like, okay, Daddy. Well, when you teach your kids things, it doesn't always go as planned, okay? I was on an elevator one time, and it was me, my daughter, and my son, and some other jag off on the elevator too. It kind of was an asshole, but pushed my daughter, and my daughter was like, excuse me, sir, I'm sorry, but you pushed me. And then she looked at me and said, Daddy, I'm like, what? I don't want to say anything, but somebody smells. I'm like, well, you kind of keep that to, well, I want to let you know it's not me. It's not my brother. It's not you. And I'm like, baby, that was awesome, yes! Make fun of that asshole, you little fucker. Pushing on my daughter, dude. Yeah, she's an amazing little girl. But my son is even more amazing. I mean, he has this weird way about it to make me feel better as a man. Like, okay, I was downstairs on the couch and I'm like, I'm tired of watching children. Like, being a single dad, I don't want to keep watching children. So I'm like, you guys go upstairs so I can have some time by myself, all right? They're like, okay, Daddy. Cool. Took off all my clothes, got my underwear, and started picking in my belly button real good, And watching freaking Dear John, like, yes, this is my time alone, some me time. Not jerking off time, but me time, you know what I mean? I want to feel good about myself. And my son, he's like, Daddy, what you doing? I'm like, I'm having my me time in my underwear, having a good time. He's like, all right. He goes upstairs and comes back down. He's in his underwear and he sits right next to me. He's like, all right, Dad, we're gonna have us time. And he digs in his belly. I'm like, yes, that's my spawn right there. Yeah. Then my daughter, she's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, we're having some, son and father time. She's like, okay. So she goes upstairs, comes back down in her panties. I'm like, no, what are you doing? She's like, well, you guys are in your underwear. I'm like, yeah, but you got boobs. You can't do, you got boobs too. So now everybody in the house is wearing a shirt at all times. Some bullshit. Just saying, I'd rather, I have nipples. I understand, but I got fat, It was her fault. It was all the whiteys, Mom was pregnant, I made lasagna a lot, and I ate it. That's just what I do, I go to a buffet, and the buffet, the Asian guy is always like that at Osaka. He's like, oh, you here? Godzilla! He's gonna eat well tonight.
Oh, you can eat.
Exactly, $15. We have to charge you for two. But another thing I always like to do is I like to play football. When I go out and play football, there's this one guy, he was a coach. He always had a gun on his hip. So I'm like, yeah, get it done, boy. You get out there and put the dick in the dirt. I'm like, what does that even mean, man? I don't know what that means. He's like, get out there and put the dick in the dirt. I'm like, all right, okay. So I'm out there, in front of the nose, in front of the center. And I take him out, kill him, yeah, there you go! Woo! Shoots it off in the middle of the freaking crowd. I'm like, is he gonna go to jail? And nobody questions him at all. You just wonder, why is he here with a gun? But he makes sure that I know, put the dick in the dirt. I forgot the rest of my jokes. But I will say this, thank you for the last read, Gabriel.